The structure of our solar system teaches us a unique lesson. A constellation Sun which has 8 planets and some other particles. This entire solar system. Our out of the 8 planets, 7 planets rotate day and night running from west to east. Whether it is late or early, but the day and night rotation structure of Venus is beyond understanding. Venus rotates very slowly but in the opposite direction from the rest. Perhaps due to the collision of some meteorite asteroid with Venus, the day and night rotation of Venus would have become such an opposite rotation. Why is the day and night rotation of Venus the opposite of the rotation of all the planets or bodies? Venus rotates in the opposite direction of most planets in our solar system because it was likely hit by a large asteroid during its early formation. Collision. It's possible that a celestial object similar in size to Venus struck in knocking it of its original rotation. Atmosphere. The planet's atmosphere may have also played a role thickening due to solar radiation and slowing the planet's rotation. Venus takes 243 Earth days to rotate once on its axis. Its atmosphere circulates the planet every 4 days and extremely fast winds drag the atmosphere along the surface, slowing the planet's rotation. Uranus is the only other planet in our solar system that spins clockwise, and it's believed that a large planetoid hit it early in its history, causing it to rotate on its side. Venus is enshrouded in a thick, dense atmosphere that could play a role in its backward spin. Some scientists suggest that the heavy atmosphere in combination with solar radiation and solar winds might create a drag on the planet's surface. 4 March 2024. Venus fact. NASA Science.government, http science.nasa.government. Venus facts. Venus is the third brightest object in the sky. After the sun and moon, Venus spins slowly in the opposite direction from most planets. Why Venus spins backwards? BBC Sky at Night magazine, https www.skyatnightmagazine.com, space science. Why is the day and night rotation of Venus the opposite of the rotation of all the planets or bodies? From www.skyatnightmagazine.com, 24 July 2024. Why Venus spins backwards? Why does planet Venus rotate backwards when compared with all the other planets. The second planet from the Sun, Venus, spins backwards compared to the other planets in our solar system. Why? At school we all learn that Earth is just one of the many worlds in our solar system, an individual body among the numerous planets and moons orbiting our host star, the Sun. Astronomers think the planets of the solar system developed from a collapsing cloud or gas called the solar nebula. Eventually, the collapsing nebula flattened into a spinning protoplanetary disk of cosmic material out of which the planets formed. So, if all the planets came out of the same spinning matter, why is it that Venus spins the backwards compared to the rest? Venus struck by giant asteroid, but the solar system is a cluttered place with lots of high-speed objects such as comets and asteroids that can potentially collide with planets. We know that large asteroids have hit Earth during its history. One of the theories as to how the moon formed. So it seems plausible that during the early stages of the solar system, Venus could have been hit by a celestial object similar in size to itself. That means it spins backward. If this collision also altered Venus's orbit, the presence of the Sun, Mercury and Earth would have pulled its orbit back to its original position. The only lasting effects would be in the direction it spins about its axis. Astronomers also think a collision on Uranus is responsible for the planet spinning on its side. Venus is certainly considered very odd for spinning in the opposite direction to most other planets, but the strangeness of Venus does not end there. The planet rotates incredibly slowly with the Venusian day equivalent to 243 Earth days, which is longer than the Venusian year of 225 Earth days. The article originally appeared in the January 2007 issue of BBC Sky at Night magazine. Just like a day and night on Earth is of 24 hours, on Mercury a full day and night on Earth is equal to 54 days. How many Earth hours or days or years will a full day and night on Venus take? A day on Venus lasts for 243 Earth days or 5,832 hours. A day on Earth is 23,943 hours. Venus also rotates backwards compared to the Earth and most of the other planets. How long is one day on other planets? NASA Space Place, NASA Science for Kids .government, HTTPS Space Place .nasa.government days. On Mercury, a day lasts 1,408 hours, and on Venus, it lasts 5,832 hours. On Earth and Mars, it's very similar. Earth takes 24 hours to complete one spin. How long one day on other planets? The short answer: planet day length. Mercury 1,408 hours, Venus 5,832 hours, Earth 24 hours, Mars 24 hours, 25 hours, Jupiter 10 hours, Saturn 11 hours, Uranus 17 hours, Neptune 16 hours. When you think of a day, you normally think of one cycle of daytime to night time. That is called a solar day. On Earth, a solar day is about around 24 hours. However, Earth's orbit is elliptical, meaning it's not a perfect circle. That means some solar days on Earth are a few minutes longer than 24 hours and some are a few minutes shorter. Another way to measure a day is to count the amount of time it takes for a planet to completely spin around and make one full rotation. This is called a sidereal day. On Earth, a sidereal day is almost exactly 23 hours and 56 minutes. We know how long an Earth day is, but how about the other planets in our solar system? How long does it take for those planets to spin one full rotation? And what is the best way to show the answer to this question? Let's look at a few options. Option 1, a paragraph. We can write a paragraph about how long days last on other planets. On Mercury, a day lasts 1,408 hours, and on Venus, it lasts 5,832 hours. On Earth and Mars, it's very similar. Earth takes 24 hours to complete one spin, and Mars takes 25 hours. The gas giant rotates really fast. Jupiter takes just 10 hours to complete one rotation. Saturn takes 11 hours. Uranus takes 17 hours and Neptune takes 16 hours. Reading that paragraph took a while, and it's hard to find all the numbers. Let's see how it looks if we put it in a table. Option 2, a table. Mercury 1,408 hours, Venus 5,832 hours, Earth 24 hours, Mars 24 hours, Jupiter 10 hours, Saturn 11 hours, Uranus 17 hours, Neptune 16 hours. That's a little bit better. We can look up and down at the numbers and can compare them more easily. But wouldn't it be nice if we could See how big those differences are. By the way, Venus appears the brightest planet in the sky after the sun and the moon. The body shining like light, that Venus planet, high in the sky, which looks like traffic green signals, high in the sky, which looks like a traffic green signals. The body shining like light, that Venus planet, high in the sky, which looks like traffic green signals, high in the sky, which looks like a traffic green signals. Among the million billion stars, that is sign is alone. It is in the darkness, but that glimpse is familiar. It is in the darkness, but that glimpse is familiar. Among the million billion stars, that is sign is alone. It is in the darkness, but that glimpse is familiar. It is in the darkness, but that glimpse is familiar. The body shines like light, that Venus planet, high in the sky, which looks like traffic green signals, high in the sky, which looks like traffic green signals. The body shining like light, that Venus planet, high in the sky, on the sky, which looks like traffic green signals, on the high sky, which looks like traffic green signals. Sometimes seen, sometimes unseen, there is a unique miracle. When it happens in the eyes, everything is useless before it. When it happens in the eyes, everything is useless before it. Sometimes seen, sometimes unseen, there is a unique miracle. When it happens in the eyes, everything is useless before it. When it happens in the eyes, everything is useless before it. The body is shining like light, that which is the planet Venus, on the high sky, which looks like traffic green signals, on the high sky, which looks like traffic green signals. The body is shining like light, that which is the planet Venus, on the high sky, which looks like traffic green signals, on the high sky, which looks like traffic green signals. Sometimes in the night a bright object is seen next to the moon among the bright yellow stars, which is not visible all the time like the moon. That second time I went to my wife's mother's house after our marriage. Then my wife and I were roaming on the terrace, newly married. The sky was full of white clouds. That day I saw for the first time a small bright object next to the moon. Seeing my concentration, my wife's eyes also reached the sky. Then suddenly my wife said to me, "Are wo to, hey, didn't you read that in Venus science?" Friends, believe me, it was my wife who saw me for the first time. I introduced the planet Venus, about which I am writing an article today. And then when we came back to my mother's house 2 days later, one night when we both were on our terrace, we saw that Venus was missing that day. I asked my wife, where is that planet Venus? My wife said, the planet Venus is visible on the sky above the ground. I asked. So soon my wife said, maybe it was a long time before we saw her. That's why I saw it that day and not today. Why Venus is not visible all the time? Venus is the second planet from the Sun and orbits between the Sun and Earth, so it's not visible all the time because of its position relative to Earth and the Sun. Venus orbits one step inward from Earth, so we always see it near the Sun in our sky. And generally speaking, after sunrise, it's hard to see. But Venus is up there every day, following or leading in the path of the Sun across our sky. 8 November 2023. Venus facts. NASA Science Government, HTTPS science.nasa.government. Venus facts. Venus is the second planet from the Sun and our closest planetary neighbor. It's the hottest planet in our solar system and is sometimes called Earth's twin. Spending a day on Venus would be quite a disorienting experience. That is, if your spacecraft or spacesuit could protect you from temperatures in the range of 900 degrees Fahrenheit, 475 degrees Celsius. For one thing, your day would be 243 Earth days long, longer even than a Venus year. One trip around the Sun, which takes only 225 Earth days. For another, because of the planet's extremely slow rotation, sunrise to sunset would take 117 Earth day, and by the way, the Sun would rise in the west and set in the east. Because Venus spins backward compared to Earth. While you are waiting, don't expect any seasonal relief from the unrelenting temperatures. On Earth, with its spin exits tilted by about 23 degrees, we experience summer when our part of the planet, our hemisphere, receives the sun's rays more directly. A result of that tilt. In winter, the tilt means the rays are less direct. No such luck on Venus. Its very slight tilt is only 3 degrees, which is too little to produce noticeable seasons. The body shining like light, that Venus planet. high in the sky, which looks like a traffic green signal. High in the sky, which looks like a traffic green signal. The body is shining like light that Venus planet. High in the sky, which looks like traffic green signal. High in the sky, which looks like a traffic green signal. Among the million billion stars, that is sign is alone. It is in the darkness, but that glimpse is familiar. It is in the darkness, but that glimpse is familiar. Among the million billion stars, that is sign is alone. It is in the darkness, but that glimpse is familiar. It is in the darkness, but that glimpse is familiar. The body shines like light, that Venus planet. High in the sky, which looks like traffic green signals. High in the sky, which looks like traffic green signals. The body is shining like light, that Venus planet. High in the sky, on the sky, which looks like traffic green signals. On the high sky, which looks like traffic green signals. Sometimes seen, sometimes unseen. There is a unique miracle when it happens in the eyes. Everything is useless before it. When it happens in the eyes, everything is useless before it. Sometimes seen, sometimes unseen. There is a unique miracle when it happens in the eyes. Everything is useless before it. When it happens in the eyes, everything is useless before it. The body is shining like light, that which is the planet Venus. On the high sky, which looks like traffic green signal. On the high sky, which looks like traffic green signal. The body is shining like light, that which is the planet Venus. On the high sky, which looks like traffic green signals. On the high sky, which looks like traffic green signals. It is said that after the sun and the moon, Venus appears the brightest in the sky. Venus is the planet before Earth appears from the sun. Why does Venus appear so bright when viewed from Earth? Venus is so bright in the night sky because of a number of factors including thick clouds. Venus's thick clouds reflect about 70% of sunlight back into space. The clouds contain sulfuric acid, droplets and acidic crystals which are smooth and easily reflect light. Proximity to the sun. Venus's orbit is closer to the sun than Earth, so it receives more sunlight. Tilt. Venus is tilted by about 3.4 degrees compared to Earth's orbit when Venus passes above or below the sun. Sunlight reflects off its atmosphere, creating a phenomenon called ascent light. Albedo. Venus has an albedo of 0.77, which is higher than any other planet in the solar system. Albedo measures how much sunlight a planet reflects back visibility. Venus is often visible within a few hours after sunset or before sunrise. It's usually visible in the same direction as the sun, so it's only visible near sunrise or sunset. Venus is one of the brightest objects in the night sky. Venus is so bright because its thick clouds reflect most of the sunlight that reaches it, about 70%, back into space, and because it is the closest planet to Earth. Why Venus is so bright right now? Scientific American. HTTPS www.scientificamerican.com article Why Venus 2 June 2023. Why Venus is so bright right now? Our planetary neighbor Venus becomes a brilliant beacon in the sky each time it reaches its greatest orbital distance from the sun. If you have ventured outside after sunset recently and happened to glance to the west, you may have noticed an astonishingly bright star glaring down on you, seemingly hovering in the sky. Is it a helicopter, a supernova, a gas UFO? No, that's Venus, the second rock from the sun, Earth's evil twin and frequent UFO impersonator. If you have not seen the planet before, right now is the best time to take a gander. It's not hard to spot. Go out when the sky is getting dark and look west and then up. Venus is incredibly bright, shockingly so, which is why it's commonly mistaken for a UFO. I get emails pretty often from slightly panicked people about it. They can't believe it's real. It's not only real, it's a whole planet and it orbits the sun closer than Earth does. Venus is 110 million kilometers from the sun compared with our 150 million kilometer. It moves faster around our home star too, so its year is shorter than ours, lasting only about 225 hours a day. How we see Venus in our sky depends on where it is in its orbit. Imagine standing a short distance away from a race car going around a track. For reference, let's say there's a flag marking the center of the track. The car starts between you and the flag and passes in front of it, moving left to right. When it reaches the right side of the track, you see it round the bend and then start moving right to left. It moves along the far side of the track behind the flag until it reaches the left side. It rounds that part, moving toward you, and then you see it moving left to right again. It passes in front of the flag and the cycle starts again. The situation is the same with Venus, except its orbit is the track and the sun is the flag in the center. Sometimes we see it passing very near the sun in the sky when it's closest to us in space. We call this point inferior conjunction. Venus moves to the right technically westward until it reaches the point where it's farthest from the sun, called greatest western elongation. Then it reverses direction as it rounds that part of the its orbit, moving eastward or to the left. It passes behind the sun on the far side of its orbit, reaching superior conjunction, and then continues on until it's as far east as it gets. The point of greatest eastern elongation, it rounds the bend again, starting to head west until it passes Earth on the near side of the sun once more. Then the dance begins anew. Incidentally, telling this back and forth motion helps inspire the term planets itself, which derives from planets Greek for wonders. The assist time to see Venus is when it's at maximum elongation from the sun. At greatest western elongation, it appears to be a morning star rising well before the sun does. And at greatest eastern elongation, it is an evening star. Getting late, that's where we are now. Venus reaches greatest eastern elongation on June 4, when it will be 45 degrees away from the sun. As our star dips below the horizon, darkening the sky, Venus becomes an unmeasurably bright planetary beacon. It's not just celestial mechanics that makes Venus pop. Though planetary science is a factor, too, Venus is about the same size as Earth, but unlike our world, it is covered with a tremendously dense carbon dioxide atmosphere. This thick blanket of gas absorbs infrared light, trapping it as globe warming heat. But Venus's clouds also efficiently reflect visible light, a situation that sets the planet gleaming in our skies, with the downside of pressure cooking it at a temperature of circa 475 degrees Celsius. That's hot enough to melt lead, leading to Venus's eminently deserved status as Earth's evil twin. There are reported celestial planets: Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars. Mercury is the first planet among the four. Then Venus, of who is this article is. Mercury is the first planet among the four. Then Venus, of who is this article is. There are reported celestial planets: Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars. Mercury is the first planet among the four. Then Venus, of who is this article is. Mercury is the first planet among the four. Then Venus, of who is this article is. This Venus is between Mercury and Earth, a completely different race. Mercury and Earth rotate from west to east. Venus has a reverse journey. Mercury and Earth rotate from west to east. Venus has a reverse journey. This Venus is between Mercury and Earth, a completely different race. Mercury and Earth rotate from west to east. Venus has a river journey. Mercury and Earth rotate from west to east. Venus has a river journey. There are four terrestrial planets: Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars. Mercury is the first planet among the four. Then Venus, of who is this article is. Mercury is the first planet among the four. Then Venus, of who is this article is. There are four terrestrial planets: Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars. Mercury is the first planet among the four. Then Venus, of who is this article is. Mercury is the first planet among the four. Then Venus, of who is this article is. Mercury also has a close neighbor, Earth's near neighborhood. The opposite rotation of Venus. Mercury takes Earth's senses away. The opposite rotation of Venus. Mercury takes Earth's senses away. Mercury also has a close neighbor, Earth's near neighborhood. The opposite rotation of Venus. Mercury takes Earth's senses away. The opposite rotation of Venus. Mercury takes Earth's senses away. There are four terrestrial planets: Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars. Mercury is the first planet among the four. Then Venus, of who is this article is. Mercury is the first planet among the four. Then Venus, of who is this article is. There are four terrestrial planets: Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars. Mercury is the first planet among the four. Then Venus, of who is this article is. Mercury is the first planet among the four. Then Venus, of who is this article is. Which is brighter, Venus or the pole star? Venus is much brighter than the pole star. Venus, the planet Venus is the brightest object in the sky aside from the sun and moon. It's often visible in the hours after sunset or before sunrise. Venus is so bright because its thick clouds reflect most of the sunlight that reaches it back into space. Pole star, the pole star also known as Polaris, is the 48th brightest star in the sky. It's located about 430 light years away from Earth. Polaris is visible every night in the northern sky, marking the due north direction. Since at its brightest, Venus reaches about magnitude 4.3 and Polaris, the North Star, is now almost a constant Mach 2.00. Venus is brighter by 6.3 magnitude, which is roughly 300 times brighter. 20 December 2019. North Star versus Venus R Astronomy. Reddit R Astronomy 10 plus comments 9 years ago. North Star versus Venus. This may be a silly question. However, I want to better understand the difference between the North Star and Venus. Aside from the obvious, one being a star and the other being a planet, which one is the shiniest peak I see in the night sky? Why is there so much confusion regarding the difference between the two? Venus is only visible near sunset and sunrise. It is not visible after dark because at night you are facing away from the sun. Since Venus is closer to the sun than the earth, that means that you are facing away from Venus as well. It is not visible during the day because the sun is usually too bright. The North Star Polaris is in a totally different part of the sky. If you find the Big Dipper, then draw a line connecting the front two stars of the cup. That line will point to Polaris. Polaris does not seem to move through the sky like the other stars. Think of the Earth as a top spinning on a table. All the other stars and planets are spots around the room, walls, and ceiling. If there was a nail in the ceiling directly above the spinning top, that would be where Polaris is. From the perspective of the top, the nail just seems to spin in place while everything else moves. Morning star is the name given to a polar B, star B, Vedantu. HTTPS www.vedantu.com. Question answer morning. So it is not a morning star. Similarly, star Venus is a part of the constellation Iovian. It is the brightest star in the sky but is not visible in daytime. Venus is brighter than the pole star, but the brightest star in the evening sky is the moon. Along with the moon, another shining light is Venus. Along with the moon, that one more shining light, that planet Venus, that is my latest in my heart, that planet Venus, that is my latest in my heart. Along with the moon, that one more shining light, that planet Venus, that is my touch in my heart, that planet Venus, that is my latest in my heart. That evening time, the sun painted a light a little while ago. After a while, the moon will also disappear. Venus will also hide its fun. After a while, the moon will also disappear. Venus will also hide its fun. That evening time, the sun painted a little while ago. After a while, the moon will also disappear. Venus will also hide its fun. After a while, the moon will also disappear. Venus will also hide its fun. Along with the moon, that one more shining light, that planet Venus, that is my latest in my heart. That planet Venus, that is my latest in my heart. Along with the moon, that one more shining light, that planet Venus, that is my latest in my heart. That planet Venus, that is my latest in my heart. The new moon is near, a little while away. The sky will be full of stars. The light will disappear far away. The sky will be full of stars. The light will disappear far away. The new moon is near, a little while away. The sky will be full of stars. The light will disappear far away. The sky will be full of stars. The light will disappear far away. Along with the moon, that one more shining light, that planet Venus, that is my latest in my heart. That planet Venus, that is my latest in my heart. Along with the moon, that one more shining light, that planet Venus, that is my latest in my heart. That planet Venus, That smile touched my heart. The whole day the moon was moving towards the west along with the sun. Then the glow of Venus was not visible, but the moon was visible. The sun had set, darkness had also touched our surface. Suddenly, the smiling face of Venus started appearing, and after some time, the moon also disappeared, Venus also disappeared. Just like the moon had started appearing since morning, why was Venus also not visible during the whole day? While I felt that after appearing, the brightness of Venus was more than the light of the moon. You can only see Venus just before sunrise or just after sunset, when it is in a part of its orbit that is just barely visible from Earth's night side. 6 October 2022. Why is Venus visible in the night sky when its orbit is closer? National Radio Astronomy Observatory HTTPS public.nro.edu asks, why is Venus visible in the night? Venus is only visible in the morning before sunrise or in the evening after sunset, because it orbits between Earth and the Sun. It's usually hard to see Venus after sunrise because it's always near the Sun in the sky. Venus also spends about half of the time in the morning sky and half in the evening sky, but it's not visible for the entire time. For example, in 2023, Venus was visible in the morning sky for about 263 days, but then disappeared for about 50 days as it passed behind the Sun. Venus also exhibits phases because of its orbit, which means that only half of the planet is illuminated by the Sun at any given time. From Earth, we can sometimes only see part of the illuminated half depending on the relative positions of the Sun, Earth and Venus. Venus facts. NASA science.government https science.nasa.government. Venus facts. Venus is the third brightest object in the sky. After the Sun and Moon, Venus spins slowly in the opposite direction from most planets. Why is Venus so bright these days? You can see it with India Today, https www.indiatoday.in, science, 6 June 2023. From Earth, the Venus comes directly in between the Sun and brings it closest to Earth, making it appear exceptionally bright in our night sky. Why Venus is called the morning star or the evening star? BBC Sky at Night magazine, https www.skynightmagazine.com, space science, 13 January 2023. Why is Venus either visible at sunset or sunrise. It has to do with the planet's orbit relative to both the sun and earth. Venus, Wikipedia, HTTPS, en.wikipedia.organization, Wiki Venus. Orbiting inferiorly inside of Earth's orbit, it always appears close to the sun in our sky as either a morning star or an evening star. Do we see planet Venus every day? Astronomy Stack Exchange, HTTPS astronomy.stackexchange.com. Question do. 7 June 2018. No. Some days Venus is an evening star visible for up to a few hours after the sun sets. Some days it is a morning star. Along with the moon, that one more shining light, that planet Venus, that is smiley touched my heart, that planet Venus, that is smiley touched my heart. Along with the moon, that one more shining light, that planet Venus, that is smile touched my heart, that planet Venus, that is smiley touched my heart. That evening time, the sun fainted a little while ago. After a while, the moon will also disappear. Venus will also hide its fun. After a while, the moon will also disappear. Venus will also hide its fun. That evening time, the sun fainted a little while ago. After a while, the moon will also disappear. Venus will also hide its fun. After a while, the moon will also disappear. Venus will also hide its fun. Along with the moon, that one more shining light, that planet Venus, that smile touched my heart, that planet Venus, that smile touched my heart. Along with the moon, that one more shining light, that planet Venus, that smile touched my heart, that planet Venus, that smile touched my heart. The new moon is near, a little while away. The sky will be full of stars, the light will disappear far away. The sky will be full of stars, the light will disappear far away. The new moon is near, a little while away. The sky will be full of stars, the light will disappear far away. The sky will be full of stars, the light will disappear far away. Along with the moon, that one more shining light, that planet Venus, that smile touched my heart, that planet Venus, that smile touched my heart. Along with the moon, that one more shining light, that planet Venus, that smile touched my heart, that planet Venus, that smile touched my heart. As the evening approached, the sun started setting towards the west and the moon was also setting. At the same time, a bright object appeared in the western sky. How does the moon rise just after the sun rises? A new moon rises with the sun, but it's not visible from Earth because it's in the daytime sky. This is because the moon is much less brighter than the sun. The moon's orbit around the Earth causes it to move 12 to 13 degrees east each day. This means that Earth has to rotate a little longer to bring the moon into new view, which is why the moon rises about 50 minutes later each day. The moon is about the horizon for about 12 hours out of every 24, and some portion of that time is during daytime. If you look carefully, you can sometimes see the moon during the sky day, but it's much less bright than the sun. The moon goes around the earth, turning in the same direction as the earth on itself, and the earth around the sun. So before the eclipse, the moon will rise after the sun, catch it in the sky, pass it, and set before the sun. As it overtakes it in the sky, 8th February 2022. Faces of the Moon. Museum Victoria, HTTPS Museums Victoria.com.au. Learning Little Science. Moon is dependent on its position in relation to the sun and earth. The moon rises in the east and sets in the west every day, just like the sun. Phases of the moon. This activity is designed to build curiosity about observable changes in the sky with a focus on the phases of the moon. The person depicted in the illustrations before ventures outside at different times throughout the month and notices that the moon looks different. Each time the person is watching the moon rise into the sky, but sometimes this happens during the day and other times at night. The moon also appears to change shape over time, and this is related to when we can see the moon in the sky. A new moon rises above the eastern horizon at sunrise with the sun. On this day, the moon then travels across the daytime sky with the sun. A new moon is in the daytime sky, but we cannot see it from Earth. On the day of a new moon, the moon is located between the Earth and the sun. A person on Earth cannot see a new moon because the side of the moon that is facing Earth is not being illuminated by the sun. There are reported still planets: Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars. Mercury is the first planet among the four. Then Venus, of who is this article is. Mercury is the first planet among the four. Then Venus, of who is this article is. There are reported still planets: Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars. Mercury is the first planet among the four. Then Venus, of who is this article is. Mercury is the first planet among the four. Then Venus, of who is this article is. This Venus is between Mercury and Earth, a completely different race. Mercury and Earth rotate from west to east. Venus has a reverse journey. Mercury and Earth rotate from west to east. Venus has a reverse journey. This Venus is between Mercury and Earth, a completely different race. Mercury and Earth rotate from west to east. Venus has a reverse journey. Mercury and Earth rotate from west to east. Venus has a reverse journey. There are reported celestial planets: Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars. Mercury is the first planet among the four. Then Venus opposes this artically. Mercury is the first planet among the four. Then Venus opposes this artically. There are four terrestrial planets: Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars. Mercury is the first planet among the four. Then Venus opposes this artically. Mercury is the first planet among the four. Then Venus opposes this artically. Mercury also has a close neighbor, Earth's near neighborhood. The opposite rotation of Venus. Mercury takes Earth's senses away. The opposite rotation of Venus. Mercury takes Earth's senses away. Mercury also has a close neighbor, Earth's near neighborhood. The opposite rotation of Venus. Mercury takes Earth's senses away. The opposite rotation of Venus. Mercury takes Earth's senses away. There are four terrestrial planets: Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars. Mercury is the first planet among the four. Then Venus opposes artically. Mercury is the first planet among the four. Then Venus opposes artically. There are four terrestrial planets: Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars. Mercury is the first planet among the four. Then Venus opposes artically. Mercury is the first planet among the four. Then Venus opposes artically. The sun is setting and the moon is also setting. At the same time, Venus is visible in the sky. Why is Venus visible when the sun and moon set? Venus is visible in the night sky after sunset and before sunrise because it's in part of its orbit that's just barely visible from Earth's night side. Here are some other reasons why Venus is visible in the night sky. Brightness. Venus is the brightest planet in the solar system and is often the brightest object in the sky after sunset or before sunrise. Its thick clouds reflect about 70% of the sunlight that reaches it, making it very bright. Orbit. Venus' orbit is closer to the sun than Earth, so it's always roughly in the same direction in the sky as the sun. Clouds. Venus clouds are made of sulfuric acid droplets and acidic crystals suspended in a mixture of gases. Light bounces easily off the smooth surface of these spheres and crystals. Venus is so bright because its thick clouds reflect most of the sunlight that reaches it, about 70% back into space, and because it is the closest planet to Earth. Venus can often be seen within a few hours after sunset or before sunrise as the brightest object in the sky other than the moon. Venus facts. NASA science.government https science.nasa.government. Venus facts. Earth's nearestness to Venus is a matter of perspective. The planet is nearly as big around as Earth. Its diameter at its equator is about 7,521 miles, 12,104 kilometers versus 7,926 miles, 12,756 kilometers for Earth. From Earth, Venus is the brightest object in the night sky after our own moon. The ancients therefore gave it great importance in their cultures, even thinking it was two objects, a morning star and an evening star. That's where the trick of perspective comes in. Because Venus orbit is closer to the sun than ours, the two of them from our viewpoint never stray far from each other. The ancient Egyptians and Greeks saw Venus in two guises. First in one orbital position seen in the morning, then another your evening Venus just at different times of the star year. At its nearest to Earth, Venus is about 24 million, about 38 million kilometer away, but most of the time the two planets are further apart. The maximum distance between Venus and Earth is about 162 million miles, 261 million kilometers. Mercury, the innermost planet, actually spends more time in Earth's proximity than Venus. One more trick of perspective: how Venus looks through binoculars or a telescope. Keep watch over many months and you will notice that Venus has phases just like our moon: full, half, quarter, etc. The complete cycle, however, new to full, take 584 days, while our moon takes just a month. And it was this perspective, the phases of Venus, first observed by Galileo through his telescope, that provided the key scientific proof for the Copernican heliocentric nature of the solar system. Venus and Earth are close to each other, so Venus is clearly visible from Earth. By the way, our scientists consider Venus and Earth as two sisters. Two sisters Earth, Venus, nearby and twins. Earth has a moon, Venus also has Jupiter. Earth has a moon, Venus also has Jupiter. Two sisters Earth, Venus, nearby and twins. Earth has a moon, Venus also has Jupiter. Earth has a moon, Venus also has Jupiter. Earth's moon is our satellite, Jupiter, but it is asteroid near Venus. Jupiter, but it is asteroid near Venus. Earth's moon is our satellite, Jupiter, but it is asteroid near Venus. Jupiter, but it is asteroid near Venus. Two sisters Earth, Venus, nearby and twins. Earth has a moon, Venus also has Jupiter. Earth has a moon, Venus also has Jupiter. Two sisters Earth, Venus, nearby and the twins. Earth has Venus also has Jujibe. Earth has moon. Venus also has Jujibe. Earth is happy in itself, like which it is Venus. Earth is cool, but Venus is very hot. Earth is cool, but Venus is very hot. Earth is happy in itself, like which it is Venus. Earth is cool, but Venus is very hot. Earth is cool, but Venus is very hot. Two sisters, Earth, Venus, nearby and the twins. Earth has a moon, Venus also has its Jujibe. Earth has a moon, Venus also has its Jujibe. Two sisters, Earth, Venus, nearby and the twins. Earth has a moon, Venus also has its Jujibe. Earth has a moon, Venus also has its Jujibe. A satellite remains within the gravitational pull of a planet, and an asteroid is almost like the because Mars has two asteroids like Mars, which are Phobos and Deimos. What is the difference between a satellite and an asteroid? Satellites and asteroids are both objects in the solar system, but they differ in several ways. Origin: satellites are artificial objects, while asteroids are natural. Orbit: satellites orbit planets, while asteroids orbit the sun. Asteroids can also orbit other asteroids, and planets can capture asteroids to become satellites. Composition: satellites are often spacecraft, while asteroids are made of rock and metal. Purpose: satellites have many uses, including communication, weather forecasting, navigation, and scientific research. Asteroids may be a source of minerals and volatiles that could be used in the future to explore and colonize the solar system. Size: asteroids range in size from less than 33 feet to 3 to 9 miles in diameter, while satellites can be classified by mass from picosatellites less than 1 kg to large satellites more than 1000 kg. A natural satellite is a moon and orbits around a planet. Asteroids are small rocket objects that orbit around the sun in a somewhat stable elliptical orbit. Which What's the difference between asteroids, comets, and NASA.government? HTTPS www.nasa.government Directorate SMD. What's the 24 November 2021? What's the difference between asteroids, comets, and meteors? We asked a NASA scientist. Episode 16. The headshot image of Tricia Talbert, Tricia Talbert, December 13, 2021. Article: What's the difference between asteroids, comets, and meteors? These space rocks each have their own unique attributes, but differences aside, these fascinating objects are all worthy of study. Just ask NASA JPL scientist Ryan Park and he will agree. Well, they are all planetary objects orbiting the sun. An asteroid is a small rocky object, and when seen in a telescope, it appears as a point of light. Most asteroids are found in a ring between the orbit of Mars and Jupiter called the asteroid belt. Some asteroids are round, some are elongated, and some even have a satellite. A comet also orbits the sun, but unlike an asteroid, it's composed of ice and dust. So when a comet gets close to the sun, its ice and dust content start to vaporize. So when seen in a telescope, a comet appears fuzzy and or has a tail. So what's a meteor? Well, let's start with a meteorite. A meteorite is a small piece of asteroid or a comet, typically pebble sized, but could be a little smaller or a little larger, and often created from a collision. When a meteorite gets close to the earth and enters the earth's atmosphere, it's called a meteor. And a meteor enters the earth's atmosphere at a very high speed, so it burns up and produces a streak of light called a shooting star. So if you have seen a shooting star, you likely saw a meteor. And if a meteor survives the burn and lands on the ground, it's called a meteorite. So what's the difference between asteroids, comet and meteors? Well, asteroids are rocky, comets are icy, and meteors are much smaller and are the shooting star that you see up in the sky. Learn more https go.nasa.government by 3i42jbm. Two sisters Earth, Venus nearby and twin. Earth has a moon, Venus also has Josephine. Earth has a moon, Venus also has Josephine. Two sisters Earth, Venus nearby and twin. Earth has a moon, Venus also has Josephine. Earth has a moon, Venus also has Josephine. Earth's moon is the Earth's satellite. Jujube, but it is asteroid near Venus. Jujube, but it is asteroid near Venus. Earth's moon is the Earth's satellite. Jujube, but it is asteroid near Venus. Jujube, but it is asteroid near Venus. Two sisters, Earth, Venus, nearby and twins. Earth has a moon, Venus also has Jujibe. Earth has a moon, Venus also has Jujibe. Two sisters, Earth, Venus, nearby and twins. Earth has a moon, Venus also has Jujibe. Earth has a moon, Venus also has Jujibe. Earth is happy in itself, like which it is Venus. Earth is cold, cool, but Venus is very hot. Earth is cold, cool, but Venus is very hot. Earth is happy in itself, like which it is Venus. Earth is cold, cool, but Venus is very hot. Earth is cold, cool, but Venus is very hot. Two sisters, Earth, Venus, nearby and twins. Earth has a moon, Venus also has his Jujibe. Earth has a moon, Venus also has Jujibe. Two sisters, Earth, Venus, nearby and twins. Earth has a moon, Venus also has Jujibe. Earth has a moon, Venus also has Jujibe. According to NASA, Earth and Venus are twins. Why are Earth and Venus called twin sisters? Earth and Venus are sometimes called twin sisters because they are similar in size, mass, density and composition. Size, Venus is almost as big as Earth with a diameter that is about 95% that of Earth. Mass, Venus and Earth have about the same mass. Density, Venus and Earth have a similar density. Composition, Venus and Earth have a similar composition with cores made of iron and nickel, rocky mantles and thin crust. Formation, both planets are believed to have formed at the same time around 4.5 billion years ago from a condensing nebulosity. However, Venus and Earth also have some key differences. Atmosphere, Venus has an atmosphere that is about 100 times thicker than Earth. Temperature, Venus has extremely hot surface temperatures. Rotation, Venus rotates backwards compared to Earth. Life, Venus does not have life or water oceans like Earth does. Venus and Earth are sometimes called twins because they are pretty much about the same size. Venus is almost as big as Earth. They also formed in the same inner part of the solar system. Venus is in fact our closest neighbor to Earth for January 2023. Why is Venus called Earth's evil twin? We asked a nasa.government, https www.nasa.government general. Why is Venus called? Venus and Earth are sometimes called twins because they are pretty much about the same size. Venus is almost as big as Earth. They also formed in the same inner part of the solar system. Venus is in fact our closer neighbor to Earth, so they were formed in the same part of the solar system, made out of the same materials. They are about the same size, so you would think that they would have turned out very similar. But what happened is somewhere along the way they went to very different paths. Some people like to say Venus went bad or something went wrong. I like to say that somewhere along the way something good happened on Earth. But on Venus, what happened is its large, thick carbon dioxide atmosphere is driving a greenhouse effect. In fact, it's so hot on Venus that you can melt lead. The temperatures on the surface of Venus are over 900 degrees Fahrenheit, and then Venus is covered in a 15-mile thick layer of clouds, and those clouds are made of sulfuric acid. So it is a crazy place, but really interesting. And we really want to understand why Venus and Earth turned out so differently. So NASA and ESA are embarking on a decade of Venus, where together we are sending three missions where we are all going to learn more about how Venus formed, how it evolved, and why it's so different from Earth. So why is Venus called Earth's evil twin? So that's why sometimes she is called our evil twin. Learn more. HTTPS solarsystem.nasa.government Venus. End video transcript, full episode list, full YouTube playlist. There are reported celestial planets: Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars. Mercury is the first planet among the four. Then Venus, of who is this article is. Mercury is the first planet among the four. Then Venus, of who is this article is. There are reported celestial planets: Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars. Mercury is the first planet among the four. Then Venus, of who is this article is. Mercury is the first planet among the four. Then Venus, of who is this article is. This Venus is between Mercury and Earth, a completely different race. Mercury and Earth rotate from west to east. Venus has a reverse journey. Mercury and Earth rotate from west to east. Venus has a reverse journey. This Venus is between Mercury and Earth, a completely different race. Mercury and Earth rotate from west to east. Venus has a reverse journey. Mercury and Earth rotate from west to east. Venus has a reverse journey. There are reported celestial planets: Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars. Mercury is the first planet among the four. Then Venus, of who is this article is. Mercury is the first planet among the four. Then Venus, of who is this article is. There are reported celestial planets: Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars. Mercury is the first planet among the four. Then Venus, of who is this article is. Mercury is the first planet among the four. Then Venus, of who is this article is. Mercury also has a close neighbor, Earth's near neighborhood. The opposite rotation of Venus. Mercury takes Earth's senses away. The opposite rotation of Venus. Mercury takes Earth's senses away. Mercury also has a close neighbor, Earth's near neighborhood. The opposite rotation of Venus. Mercury takes Earth's eccentricity away. The opposite rotation of Venus. Mercury takes Earth's eccentricity away. There are reported celestial planets Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars. Mercury is the first planet among the four. Then Venus of who is artically. Mercury is the first planet among the four. Then Venus of who is artically. There are four terrestrial planets Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars. Mercury is the first planet among the four. Then Venus of who is artically. Mercury is the first planet among the four. Then Venus of who is artically. Earth and Venus are twin sisters, true. But Earth has a moon which was formed by a collision with Theia. And how did something collide with Venus and force it to rotate in the opposite direction? A giant asteroid or other celestial object may have collided with Venus early in the formation of the solar system, causing it to rotate in the opposite direction of most other planets. This is called retrograde rotation. Other possible explanations for Venus retrograde rotation include the planet's atmosphere and tidal forces. Venus rotation is very slow, taking about 243 Earth days to complete one spin. In the crowded solar system with fast objects like comets, there's a theory that something as big as Venus might have hit it, making it spin in the opposite direction. So Venus's strange rotation might be from a cosmic collision during its early days. 9 January 2024. Venus backwards rotation and orbital period BIRA IASB HTTPS www.aeronomy.b Encyclopedia Venus back. Venus backwards rotation and orbital period. Venus orbit around the sun compared to Earth. Venus rotates around the sun in an elliptic orbit that is the most circular of any of the planets. The difference between its aphelion and its perihelion is only 1.5 million kilometers, which means its orbital eccentricity is only 0.007. For comparison, that of the Earth is 0.0167. The inclination of Venus orbit to the elliptic plane is about 3 degree 24. Venus orbits the sun in the same direction as all the other planets, and the time for one full tour is 224.70096 Earth days. Venus retrograde rotation on its own axis. The rotational period of Venus on its own axis was unknown for a long time. Astronomers perceived small details in Venus' atmosphere that implied that the clouds rotated in about 4 days in the opposite direction to Venus' orbital direction. Finally, in 1962, radar penetrated the clouds and allowed as a to measure the rotational period of the planet. Venus' rotational speed is very slow. It turns once in 243.0185 Earth days, whereas the Earth turns one in one. The planet rotates clockwise. If viewed from the North Pole, the Sun rises in the west. We call this retrograde rotation, backward compared to the Earth and most other planets. Day-night cycle and length of a year on Venus. So the planet takes 243 days to turn on its axis and 224.7 days to orbit the Sun. A year on Venus is therefore shorter than a sidereal day, 0.924 days to be exact. The cause of this retrograde rotation is still poorly understood. The most likely explanation is a giant collision with another large body during the planet formation phase. The Venusian atmosphere could also have played a role. Heated by solar radiation, it would thicken. The tidal forces acting on Venus could then have slowed its rotation to the point of stopping the planet and even make it turn in the other direction. This slow retrograde rotation is the origin of the solar day being shorter than the sidereal day. The latter are longer for planets characterized by anterograde rotation. The Earth, for example, has a solar day average of 24 hours and a sidereal day of 23 hours 56 minutes 4.09 s. On Venus, the solar day is a little less than half of the sidereal day, 116 and 3 by 4 Earth days. 116 D 18H. This means a little more than 2 complete solar days in one sidereal day. Venusian days and nights last almost 2 terrestrial months, 58D 9H. However, the thick atmosphere probably produces very gradual dusk and dawns. Both are twins, but there is a huge difference in their temperature. Earth has a maximum of 40 to 60 degrees, but Venus has a temperature of 460 degrees. 460 degrees Celsius, the temperature of that is surface. Is it the same during day and night? Almost the same. Is it the same during day and night? Almost the same. 460 degrees Celsius, the temperature of that is surface. Is it the same during day and night? Almost the same. Is it the same during day and night? Almost the same. That planet Venus is so hot. It is difficult to measure the heat. Safe flight suits no matter what. Landing is a curse for a human. Safe flight suits no matter what. Landing is a curse for a human. That planet's Venus is so hot. It is difficult to measure that heat. Safe flight suits no matter what. Landing is a curse for a human. Safe flight suits no matter what. Landing is a curse for a human. 460 degrees Celsius, the temperature of it that is surface. Is it the same during day and night? Almost the same heat. Is it the same during day and night? Almost the same heat. 460 degrees Celsius, the temperature of it that is surface. Is it the same during day and night? Almost the same heat. Is it the same during day and night? Almost the same heat. Every metal melts 100 degrees Celsius is enough. 460 degrees Celsius heat. Even the rover will apologize. 460 degrees Celsius heat. Even the rover will apologize. Every metal melts 100 degrees Celsius is enough. 460 degrees Celsius heat. Even the rover will apologize. 460 degrees Celsius heat. Even the rover will apologize. 460 degrees Celsius, the temperature of that is surface. Is it the same during day and night? Almost the same heat. Is it the same during day and night? Almost the same heat. 460 degrees Celsius, the temperature of that is surface. Is it the same during day and night? Almost the same heat. Is it the same during day and night? Almost the same heat. Friends, space travel is very critical. Is a fire suit with a range of 1650 degrees Celsius suitable for space travel? Can the rover spend time on Venus using a fire suit with a range of 1650 degrees Celsius? How high a temperature can a space suit be made tolerate? A space suit can withstand temperatures ranging from minus 250 degree Fahrenheit in the shadow to 250 degree Fahrenheit in the sun. Space suits are designed to protect astronauts from extreme temperature and other dangers in space. They have many features to help keep astronauts comfortable and safe, including insulation, layers of fabric like neoprene, Gore-Tex and Dacron insulate the sun to help maintain a comfortable temperature. Reflective outer layer. A white or malar outer layer reflects sunlight to help keep the suit cool. Temperature regulation. The suite's design helps maintain a comfortable temperature even when the astronaut is moving around or working hard. Protection. The suit protects astronauts from micro meteoroids and radiation. It also allows astronauts to see clearly, move easily, and communicate with others. This spacesuit is capable of protecting the astronaut from temperature ranging from minus 156 degrees Celsius, minus 249 degrees Fahrenheit to 121 degrees Celsius, 250 degrees Fahrenheit during exploration of the moon or Mars. There will be the potential for lunar or Martian dust to be retained on the spacesuit. Spacewalk Spacesuit Basics, NASA.government, HTTPS www.nasa.government, Centers and Facilities, Johnson, 4 October 2019. Temperature on spacewalks may vary from as cold as minus 250 degrees Fahrenheit to as hot as 250 degrees in the sunlight. Spacesuit insulation protects personal devices. NASA spinoff.government, HTTPS spinoff.nasa.government, spinoff 2020. NASA's new spacesuit can withstand over 120 degrees centigrade, removes toxic gases and regulates temperature. NASA's new spacesuit may not look any different from the one used for spacewalk outside the International Space Station recently, but the US Space Agency says the suit is designed to achieve more complex tasks than its predecessors. The new suit, which will be worn by astronauts on the Artemis lunar exploration program, is called the Exploration Extravehicular Mobility Unit, or XEMU for short. While the spacesuit is still under development, its features have been finalized. It's already being tested underwater and orbital testing is scheduled for 2023. Take a look. 1. Can stream withstand temperatures of minus 250 degrees Fahrenheit in shade and up to 250 degrees Fahrenheit in the sun? 2. Life system support. Backpack houses the suit's power and breathable air, removes toxic gases and regulates temperature. 3. The electronics and pumping system are miniaturized to accommodate built-in duplicates, making some system failures less of a concern. It could also increase spacewalk duration. 4. The headset has voice activated microphones that automatically pick up the voices of astronauts when they speak. 5. The headset contains a small foam block that allows an astronaut to scratch his nose. 6. The globes equipped with are heaters to keep their fingers warm while still allowing dexterity. 7. Flexible parts of the suit are made from as many as 16 layers of material which perform different functions. 8. The suit is designed with interchangeable parts and could be upgraded environment for the Martian. From Armageddon to Interstellar, some inspiration for Elon Musk's new space suite. Suit Up, with Elon Musk recently unveiling the first image of a new space suite developed by SpaceX. Here's a look at some of the iconic space suites from famous movies. Musk might as well take some notes. 460 degrees Celsius, the temperature of the surface. Is it the same during day and night? Almost the same. Is it the same during day and night? Almost the same. 460 degrees Celsius, the temperature of that surface. Is it the same during day and night? Almost the same. Is it the same during day and night? Almost the same. That planet Venus is so hot, it is difficult to measure the heat. Safe flight suits no matter what. Landing is a curse for a human. Safe flight suits no matter what. Landing is a curse for a human. That planet Venus is so hot, it is difficult to measure that heat. Safe flight suits no matter what. Landing is a curse for a human. Safe flight suits no matter what. Landing is a curse for a human. 460 degrees Celsius, the temperature of that surface. Is it the same during day and night? Almost the same. Is it the same during day and night? Almost the same. 460 degrees Celsius, the temperature of that surface. Is it the same during day and night? Almost the same. Is it the same during day and night? Almost the same. Every metal melts 100 degrees Celsius is enough. 460 degrees Celsius heat. Even the rover will apologize. 460 degrees Celsius heat. Even the rover will apologize. Every metal element 100 degrees Celsius is enough. 460 degrees Celsius heat. Even the rover will apologize. 460 degrees Celsius heat. Even the rover will apologize. 460 degrees Celsius, the temperature of that surface. Is it the same during day and night? Almost the same. Is it the same during day and night? Almost the same. 460 degrees Celsius, the temperature of that surface. Is it the same during day and night? Almost the same. Is it the same during day and night? Almost the same. Venus completes its orbit in 222 days. With this complete rotation, will the temperature of Venus always remain 460 degrees Celsius? Yes, Venus average surface temperature of 460 degrees Celsius remains consistent over time. This is due to a number of factors including greenhouse effect. Venus's atmosphere is made up of a dense layer of carbon dioxide and sulfur dioxide gas, such which traps sunlight and prevents it from radiating into space. Rotation: Venus spins backwards on its axis, taking 243 Earth days to complete one rotation. This means that the sun rises in the west and sets in the east, and the nights are just as warm as the days. Clouds: Venus's clouds reflect a large portion of the light that hits them back into space. The temperature at the surface of Venus is very high. 737 K is equal to 474 degrees Celsius, and hardly varies from the sunlit side to the night side. The temperature of the ground is close to 460 degrees Celsius. The temperature profile between 0 and 100 kilometers is noticeably different from the of the Earth sea illustration. What would it be like to stand on the surface of Venus? The Planetary Society. HTTPS www.planetary.organization, articles 11 April 2023. The extreme and deadly conditions on the surface of Venus make it an unlikely place for human exploration, since even the most advanced space suits would not be able to completely protect astronauts. Robotic spacecraft would fare better, since they can be made from very durable materials and don't need to breathe. But even robots have had a hard time exploring the surface of Venus in the past. Only a handful of spacecraft have successfully operated on the Venusian surface, although many more have tried and failed due to various technical problems and the harsh conditions on Venus. Even the successful missions were only able to operate for hours at most before being destroyed by the planet's extreme conditions. That's why there are so few pictures of the surface of Venus. Future missions to Venus will mainly study it from orbit, where the conditions are much more favorable high above the planet. Spacecraft can peer down through the atmosphere without having to contend with its influence. NASA's proposed Veritas mission aims to map the Venusian surface from orbit, achieving higher resolution than ever before from upward. It could help us understand the surface of Venus better than any robotic lander or human mission. This mission, which could revolutionize our understanding of this hostile but fascinating world, is facing an indefinite delay due to budget cuts and needs the support of space advocates like you. There are reported still planets Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars. Mercury is the first planet among the four. Then Venus, of who is this article is. Mercury is the first planet among the four. Then Venus, of who is this article is. There are reported still planets Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars. Mercury is the first planet among the four. Then Venus, of who is this article is. Mercury is the first planet among the four. Then Venus, of who is this article is. This Venus is between Mercury and Earth, a completely different race. Mercury and Earth rotate from west to east. Venus has a reverse journey. Mercury and Earth rotate from west to east. Venus has a reverse journey. This Venus is between Mercury and Earth, a completely different race. Mercury and Earth rotate from west to east. Venus has a reverse journey. Mercury and Earth rotate from west to east. Venus has a reverse journey. There are reported still planets Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars. Mercury is the first planet among the four. Then Venus, of who is this article is. Mercury is the first planet among the four. Then Venus, of who is this article is. There are reported still planets Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars. Mercury is the first planet among the four. Then Venus, of who is this article is. Mercury is the first planet among the four. Then Venus, of who is this article is. Mercury also has a close neighbor, Earth's near neighborhood. The opposite rotation of Venus. Mercury takes Earth's senses away. The opposite rotation of Venus. Mercury takes Earth's senses away. Mercury also has a close neighbor, Earth's near neighborhood. The opposite rotation of Venus. Mercury takes Earth's senses away. The opposite rotation of Venus. Mercury takes Earth's senses away. There are reported still planets Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars. Mercury is the first planet among the four. Then Venus, of who is this article is. Mercury is the first planet among the four. Then Venus, of who is this article is. There are reported still planets Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars. Mercury is the first planet among the four. Then Venus, of who is this article is. Mercury is the first planet among the four. Then Venus, of who is this article is. While 70% of the radiation gets converted into space, how does the remaining 30% radiation keep Venus warm at a temperature of 460 degrees Celsius? Does nuclear fusion sometimes occur on Venus too? What is the reason for the heat remaining on Venus? Venus is the hottest planet in our solar system due to a runaway greenhouse effect caused by its thick atmosphere and high carbon dioxide concentration. greenhouse effect. The atmosphere traps heat like a blanket, preventing it from escaping into space. Carbon dioxide. Venus's atmosphere has over 2000 times more carbon dioxide than Earth's, which acts as a greenhouse gas. Thick atmosphere. The thick atmosphere blocks most of the heat that would otherwise escape. Surface temperature. The surface temperature of Venus is 870 degrees Fahrenheit, 465 degrees Celsius on average, which is hot enough to melt lead. Venus is the second planet from the Sun, but it's hotter than Mercury because of its greenhouse effect. Its thick atmosphere traps heat in a runaway greenhouse effect, making it the hottest planet in our solar system. With surface temperatures hot enough to melt lead below the dense, persistent clouds, the surface has volcanoes and deformed mountains. Why is Venus so hot? We asked a NASA scientist. NASA.government. HTTPS www.nasa.government. General, why is Venus so hot? So, light from the sun passes through the Earth's atmosphere, but CO2 absorbs some of the heat that would otherwise have escaped back into space. One day on Earth is 24 hours. Similarly, on Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus and Neptune, day and night are converted into days. On Mercury, the same orbit is at least equal to the day and night. On Venus, the same day and night process is completed in 248 Earth days. That is, even after a complete rotation of 222 days. It is surprising. In the entire solar system, planets have a day and a night. Every planet has a west to east. Venus has a reverse resonance. Every planet has a west to east. Venus has a reverse resonance. In the entire solar system, planets have a day and a night. Every planet has a west to east. Venus has a reverse resonance. Every planet has a west to east. Venus has a reverse resonance. Mercury, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune. Source of the seven is eastern. Western Venus is very skilled. Source of the seven is eastern. Western Venus is very skilled. Mercury, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune. Source of the seven is eastern. Western Venus is very skilled. Source of the seven is eastern. Western Venus is very skilled. In the entire solar system, planets have a day and a night. Every planet has a west to east. Venus has a reverse resonance. Every planet has a west to east. Venus has a reverse resonance. In the entire solar system, planets have a day and a night. Every planet has a west to east. Venus has a reverse resonance. Every planet has a west to east. Venus has a reverse resonance. Question after question is often, how did the experience be? That is spin off two bulbs, which is near your far. That is spin off two bulbs, which is near a far. Question after question is often, how did the experience be? That is spin of two balls, which is near a far. That is spin of two balls, which is near a far. In the entire solar system, planets every day and night. Every planet has a west to east. Venus has a reverse resonance. Every planet has a west to east. Venus has a reverse resonance. In the entire solar system, planets every day and night. Every planet has a west to east. Venus has a reverse resonance. Every planet has a west to east. Venus has a reverse resonance. 8 planets in the Sun's solar system have been identified so far. 5 dwarf planets are also present in our solar system. Out of the 8 planets, Venus's day-night rotation direction is opposite to that of 7 planets. How would day-night rotation take place in the dwarf planets of Pluto, Ceres, Aries, Haumea and Makemake? Here's some information about the day-night rotation of some dwarf planets in our solar system. Ceres. This dwarf planet has one of the shortest days in the solar system, taking only 9 hours to rotate. Ceres axis is tilted only 4 degrees, so it spins nearly upright and does not experience seasons like other planets. Makemake. This dwarf planet has a day length similar to Earth and Mars, taking 22.5 hours to rotate. It takes 305 Earth years for Makemake to orbit the Sun. Pluto. Pluto's day is about 6.5 Earth days long, as it takes 6.5 Earth days for Pluto to rotate. It takes 248 Earth years for Pluto to orbit the Sun. Aries. Aries' day length is similar to Earth, as it takes 25.9 hours to rotate. Aries' orbit is well outside the plane of the solar system's planets and extends far beyond the Kuiper belt. Haumea. Haumea's rapid rotation makes it difficult to calculate its dimensions according to rotational physics. A body rotating as fast as Haumea will be distorted into a triaxial ellipsoid within 100 days. Haumea. NASA Science.Government, HTTPS science.nasa.government. Dwarf planets Haumea. How would day-night rotation take place in the dwarf planets of Pluto, Ceres, Eris, Haumea and Makemake. From science.nasa.government, a day of on Haumea is about 4 Earth hours. It takes 285 Earth years for Haumea to orbit the Sun. Haumea, dwarf planet Haumea, was originally designated 2003 EL61 and nicknamed Santa by one discovery team. Haumea is located in the Kuiper Belt, a donut-shaped region of icy bodies beyond the orbit of Neptune. Quick facts. A day on Haumea is about 4 Earth hours. Haumea facts. Haumea is an oval-shaped dwarf planet that is one of the fastest rotating large objects in our solar system. The first spin distorts Haumea's shape, making this dwarf planet look like a football. In the entire solar system, planets have a day and a night. Every planet has a west to east. Venus has a reverse resonance. Every planet has a west to east. Venus has a reverse resonance. In the entire solar system, planets have a day and a night. Every planet has a west to east. Venus has a reverse resonance. Every planet has a west to east. Venus has a reverse resonance. Mercury, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune. Source of the heavens is eastern. Western Venus is very skilled. Source of the seven is eastern. Western Venus is very skilled. Mercury, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune. Source of the seven is eastern. Western Venus is very skilled. Source of the seven is eastern. Western Venus is very skilled. In the entire solar system, planets have a day and a night. Every planet has a west to east. Venus has a reverse resonance. Every planet has a west to east. Venus has a reverse resonance. In the entire solar system, planets have a day and a night. Every planet has a west to east. Venus has a reverse resonance. Every planet has a west to east. Venus has a reverse resonance. Question after question is often, how would the experience be? That is spin of two balls, which is near or far. That is spin of two balls, which is near or far. Question after question is often, how would the experience be? That is spin of two balls, which is near or far. That is spin of two balls, which is near or far. In the entire solar system, planets have a day and a night. Every planet has a west to east. Venus has a reverse resonance. Every planet has a west to east. Venus has a reverse resonance. In the entire solar system, planets have a day and a night. Every planet has a west to east. Venus has a reverse resonance. Every planet has a west to east. Venus has a reverse resonance. Friends, you already know that I am a nature lover. I stand on the terrace of my house every morning and understand if I am running from west to east, then only the sun is rising. Now, friends, do not take its opposite meaning that the sun rises in the east and sets in the west. Actually, every earth dweller of ours is running from west to east because the earth keeps running from west to east. This is the reason why we understand that the sun rises in the east and sets in the west. But the opposite understanding is actually happening. But it is not happening on Earth, but on Venus. Even though it takes 248 Earth days, but the planet Venus really runs from east to west. The Earth keeps running from west to east. Does the planet Venus run from east to west? Yes. The planet Venus rotates from east to west on its axis, which is unusual because most other planets rotate from west to east. Venus takes 243 Earth days to complete one full rotation. All the planets orbit the sun in a counterclockwise direction and rotate on their axis counterclockwise west to east, except for Venus and Uranus. Venus rotates clockwise east to west while Uranus rolls on its side as it orbits the sun. Venus fact: NASA science.government, https science.nasa.government, Venus facts. And by the way, the sun would rise in the west and set in the east because Venus spins backward compared to Earth. Venus. NASA science.government, https science.nasa.government, Venus. Long days, short years. Venus rotates very slowly on its axis. One day on Venus lasts 243 Earth days. The planet orbits the sun faster than Earth. However, so 1 year on Venus takes only about 225 Earth days, making a Venusian day longer than its year. Spacecraft magnet. Venus was the first planet explored by a spacecraft and was intensely studied early in the history of space exploration. Venus was also the first planet whose surface was reached by a spacecraft from Earth. The intense heat means landers have only survived for a couple of hours. Backward sunrise. Venus rotates backward on its axis compared to most planets in our solar system. This means the sun rises in the west and sets in the east, opposite of what we see on Earth. Mariner 2, first spacecraft to explore Venus. There are reported still planets: Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars. Mercury is the first planet among the four. Then Venus of who is this article is. Mercury is the first planet among the four. Then Venus of who is this article is. There are reported celestial planets. Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars. Mercury is the first planet among the four. Then Venus of who is this article is. Mercury is the first planet among the four. Then Venus of who is this article is. This Venus is between Mercury and Earth, a completely different race. Mercury and Earth rotate from west to east. Venus has a reverse journey. Mercury and Earth rotate from west to east. Venus has a reverse journey. This Venus is between Mercury and Earth, a completely different race. Mercury and Earth rotate from west to east. Venus has a reverse journey. Mercury and Earth rotate from west to east. Venus has a reverse journey. There are four terrestrial planets: Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars. Mercury is the first planet among the four. Then Venus of who is this article is. Mercury is the first planet among the four. Then Venus of who is this article is. There are four terrestrial planets: Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars. Mercury is the first planet among the four. Then Venus of who is this article is. Mercury is the first planet among the four. Then Venus of who is this article is. Mercury also has a close neighbor, Earth's near neighborhood. The opposite rotation of Venus. Mercury takes Earth's senses away. The opposite rotation of Venus. Mercury takes the Earth's senses away. Mercury also has a close neighbor, Earth's near neighborhood. The opposite rotation of Venus. Mercury takes Earth's senses away. The opposite rotation of Venus. Mercury takes Earth's senses away. There are four terrestrial planets: Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars. Mercury is the first planet among the four. Then Venus of who is this article is. Mercury is the first planet among the four. Then Venus of who is this article is. There are four terrestrial planets: Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars. Mercury is the first planet among the four. Then Venus of who is this article is. Mercury is the first planet among the four. Then Venus of who is this article is. If Venus shows slow speed in running, then when does the sun set after sunrise on Venus? On Earth, the sun rises at around 5 am and sets at around 5 pm. How much time does it take for the sun to set on Venus after sunrise? For another, because of the planet's extremely slow rotation, sunrise to sunset would take 117 Earth days, and by the way, the sun would rise in the west and set in the east because Venus spins backward compared to Earth. Venus facts. NASA scientist science NASA science.government https science.nasa.government Venus fact. Orbit and rotation. Spending a day on Venus would be quite a disorienting experience. That is, if your spacecraft or spacesuit could protect you from temperature in the range of 900 degrees Fahrenheit, 475 Celsius, for one thing, your day would be 243 Earth days long, longer even than a Venus year. One trip around the sun, which takes only 225 Earth days. For another, because of the planet's extremely slow rotation, sunrise to sunset would take 170 Earth days. And by the way, the sun would rise in the west and set in the east because Venus spins backward compared to Earth. While you are waiting, don't expect any seasonal relief from the unrelenting temperatures on Earth with its spin axis tilted by about 23 degrees. We experience summer when our part of the planet, our hemisphere, receive the sun's rays from directly, a result of that tilt. In winter, the tilt means the rays are less direct. No such lack on Venus. Its very slight tilt is only 3 degrees, which is too little to produce noticeable season structure. If we could slice Venus and Earth in half, pole to pole, and place them side by side, they would look remarkably similar. Each planet has an iron core enveloped by a hot rock mantle. The thinnest of skins forms a rocky exterior crust. On both planets, this thin skin changes form and sometimes erupts into volcanoes in response to the ebb and flow of heat and pressure deep beneath. On Earth, the slow movement of continents over thousands and millions of years reshapes the surface, a process known as plate tectonics. Sometimes something similar might have happened on Venus early in its history. Today, a key element of this process could be operating subduction or the sliding of one continental plate beneath another, which can also trigger volcanoes. Subduction is believed to be the first step in creating plate tectonics. NASA's Magellan spacecraft, which ended a 5-year mission to Venus in 1994, mapped the crawling surface using radar. Magellan saw a land of extreme volcanism, a relatively young surface, one recently reshaped in geologic terms, and chains of towering mountains. Whatever may be the rotation speed of day and night or the discrepancy in the time between Earth and Venus, but the size and shape of Earth and Venus are almost similar. Two planets near Earth, Venus, almost similar in shape. Earth has a life, life is far away on a Venus. Earth has a life, life is far away on a Venus. Two planets near Earth, Venus, almost similar in shape. Earth has a life, life is far away on a Venus. Earth has a life, life is far away on a Venus. Hottest planets in the solar system, Venus is the hottest. Day and night are the same. How to describe the life forms like a day and night are the same. How to describe the life forms like a hottest planets in the solar system. Venus is the hot. Day and night are the same. How to describe the life forms like a day and night are the same. How to describe the life forms like a to planets near Earth, Venus, almost similar in shape. Earth has a life. Life is far away on Venus. Earth has a life. Life is far away on Venus. To planets near Earth, Venus, almost similar in shape. Earth has a life. Life is far away on Venus. Earth has a life. Life is far away on Venus. Life is a variable in that heat, 40 or 100 degrees Celsius, 460 degrees Celsius heat. Even a metal will melt, 460 degrees Celsius heat. Even a metal will melt. Life is variable in that heat, 40 or 100 degrees Celsius, 460 degrees Celsius heat. Even metal will melt, 460 degrees Celsius heat. Even metal will melt. To planets near Earth, Venus, almost similar in shape. Earth is a life. Life is far away on Venus. Earth has a life. Life is far away on Venus. To planets near Earth, Venus, almost similar in shape. Earth has a life. Life is far away on Venus. Earth has a life. Life is far away on Venus. Which is the hottest body in the entire solar system? Is 2021 PH27 or Jujube of Venus itself the hottest planet in the entire solar system? What is the reason for Venus being the hottest planet in the entire solar system? Venus is the hottest planet in our solar system because of its thick atmosphere and greenhouse effect. Greenhouse effect, the atmosphere traps heat from the sun similar to how glass traps heat in a greenhouse. Atmosphere. Venus atmosphere is made up of greenhouse gases like carbon dioxide which trap heat and prevent it from escaping into space surface temperature. The surface temperature of Venus is hot enough to melt lead, reaching 864 degrees Fahrenheit, 462 degrees Celsius. Venus is the second planet from the Sun, but it's hotter than Mercury because of its thick atmosphere. Mercury is closer to the Sun, but its magnetic field deflects most of the Sun's radiation, reducing the heat that's trapped. Venus is so hot because it is surrounded by a very thick atmosphere which is about 100 times more massive than our atmosphere here on Earth, near on Earth, here on Earth. As sunlight passes through the atmosphere, it heats up the surface of Venus. Venus, NASA science.government, https science.nasa.government, Venus, but pull up a bit closer and Venus turns hellish. Our nearest planetary neighbor, the second planet from the Sun, has a surface hot enough to melt lead. Venus is a cloud swaddled planet named for a love goddess and often called Earth's twin. But pull up a bit closer and Venus turns hellish. Our nearest planetary neighbor, the second planet from the Sun, has a surface hot enough to melt lead. The atmosphere is so thick that from the surface the Sun is just a smear of light. Venus is the second planet from the Sun and our closest planetary neighbor. It's the hottest planet in our solar system and is sometimes called Earth's twin. Venus is the second planet from the Sun and Earth's closest planetary neighbor. Venus is the third brightest object in the sky after the Sun and Moon. Venus spins slowly in the opposite direction from most planets. Venus is similar in structure and size to Earth and is sometimes called Earth's evil twin. Its thick atmosphere traps heat in a runaway greenhouse effect, making it the hottest planet in our solar system with surface temperatures hot enough to melt lead. Below the dense, persistent clouds, the surface has volcanoes and deformed mountains. 30 miles up above about 50 kilometers from the surface of Venus, temperatures range from 86 to 158 Fahrenheit, 30 to 70 Celsius. This temperature range could accommodate earthly life such as extremophile microbes, and atmospheric pressure at that height is similar to what we find on Earth's surface. At the tops of Venus, clouds whipped around the planet by winds measured as high as 224 mph, 360 kph. We find another transformation, persistent dark streaks appear. Scientists are so far unable to explain why these streaks remain stubbornly intact even amid hurricane force winds. They also have the odd habit of absorbing ultraviolet radiation. The most likely explanations focus on fine particles, ice crystals, or even a chemical compound called iron chloride. Although it's much less likely, another possibility considered by scientists who study astrobiology is that these streaks could be made up of microbial life. Venus style astrobiologists note that ring-shaped linkages of sulfur atoms known to exist in Venus atmosphere could provide microbes with a kind of coating that would protect them from sulfuric acid. These handy chemical cloaks would also absorb potentially damaging ultraviolet light and re-radiate it as visible light. Some of the Russian Venera probes did indeed detect particles in Venus lower atmosphere about a micron in length, roughly the same size as a bacterium on Earth. None of these findings provide compelling evidence for the existence of life in Venus clouds. But the questions they raise, along with Venus' vanished ocean, its violently volcanic surface, and its hellish history, make a compelling case for missions to investigate our temperamental sister planet. There is much it would seem that she can teach us. Two planets near Earth, Venus, almost similar in shape. Earth has a life. Life is far away on Venus. Earth has a life. Life is far away on Venus. Two planets near Earth, Venus, almost similar in shape. Earth has a life. Life is far away on Venus. Earth has a life. Life is far away on Venus. Hottest planets in the solar system. Venus is the hottest. Day and night are the same. How to describe life forms like Earth? Day and night are the same. How to describe life forms like Earth? Hottest planets in the solar system. Venus is the hot. Day and night are the same. How to describe life forms like Earth? Day and night are the same. How to describe life forms like Earth? Two planets near Earth, Venus, almost similar in shape. Earth has a life. Life is far away on Venus. Earth has a life. Life is far away on Venus. Two planets near Earth, Venus, almost similar in shape. Earth has a life. Life is far away on Venus. Earth has a life. Life is far away on Venus. Life is variable in that heat, 40 or 100 degrees Celsius, 460 degrees Celsius heat. Even metal will melt, 460 degrees Celsius heat. Even metal will melt. Life is variable in that heat, 40 or 100 degrees Celsius, 460 degrees Celsius heat. Even metal will melt, 460 degrees Celsius heat. Even metal will melt. Two planets near Earth, Venus, almost similar in shape. Earth has a life. Life is far away on Venus. Earth has a life. Life is far away on Venus. Two planets near Earth, Venus, almost similar in shape. Earth has a life. Life is far away on Venus. Earth has a life. Life is far away on Venus. Earth and Venus are almost identical in size and shape. Is Venus considered the sixth largest planet? Yes, Venus is the sixth largest planet in our solar system. Size: Venus's equatorial diameter is about 7,521 miles, 12,104 kilometers, which is similar to Earth. Mass: Venus has a mass of 4867,320,000,000,000 billion kilometers, which is about 80% of Earth's mass. Distance from the Sun: Venus is the second planet from the Sun, orbiting at an average distance of 67.2 million miles, 108 million kilometers. Venus is sometimes called Earth's twin because of its similar size, but it's very different from Earth in other ways. Atmosphere: Venus's atmosphere is 90 times denser than Earth's and is made up of thick carbon dioxide. Temperature: Venus is the hottest planet in our solar system, with surface temperature hot enough to melt lead. Rotation: Venus rotates backward on its axis. Venus is the second planet from the Sun and the sixth largest planet. It's the hottest planet in our solar system. Planet sizes and locations in our solar system. NASA science.government, HTTPS science.nasa.government, solar system, planet sizes, and 29 March 2024. Venus is the sixth largest planet in the solar system. Venus is about the same width as Earth and has an equatorial diameter of about 7,521 miles, 12,104 kilometers. For this reason, Venus is sometimes known as Earth's twin. Venus is the second planet from the Sun, orbiting at an average distance of 67.2 million miles, 108 million kilometers. Venus is about 26 million miles, 42 million kilometers closer to the Sun than Earth. NASA's Da Vinci mission to take the Planck through massive atmosphere of Venus in a recently published paper. NASA scientists and engineers give new details about the agency's deep atmosphere Venus. Investigation of noble gases, chemistry and imagine Da Vinci mission, which will descend through the layered Venus atmosphere to the surface of the planet in mid 2031. Da Vinci is the first mission to study the surface of the planet in mid 2031. Da Vinci is the first mission to study Venus using both spacecraft flybys and a descent probe. Da Vinci A flyby analytical chemistry laboratory will measure critical aspects of Venus' massive atmosphere climate system for the first time, many of which have been measurement goals for Venus since the early 1980s. It will also provide the first descent imaging of the mountains, highlands of Venus while mapping their rock composition and surface relief at scales not possible from orbit. The mission supports measurements of undiscovered gases present in small amounts on the deepest atmosphere, including the key ratio of hydrogen isotopes, components of water that help reveal the history of water either as liquid water, oceans, or steam within the atmosphere. The mission's carrier relay and imaging spacecraft CRICS has two onboard instruments that will study the planet's clouds and map its highland areas during flybys of Venus, and will also drop a small descent probe with five instruments that will provide a medley of new measurements at very high precision during its descent to the hellish Venus surface. This ensemble of chemistry, environmental and descent imaging data will paint a picture of the layered Venus atmosphere and how it interacts with the surface in the mountains of Alpha Regio, which is twice the size of Texas, said Jim Garvin, lead author of the paper in the Planetary Science Journal and Da Vinci principal investigator from NASA's Goddard Space Flight Center in Greenbelt, Maryland. These measurements will all allow us to evaluate historical aspects of the atmosphere as well as detect special rock types at the surface such as granites, while also looking for telltale landscape features that could tell us about erosion or other formational processes. Da Vinci will make use of pre-Venus gravity assists which save fuel by using the planet's gravity to change the speed and or direction of the CRIS flight system. The first two gravity assists will set CRIS up for a Venus flyby to perform remote sensing in the ultraviolet and the near infrared light, acquiring over 60 gigabits of new data about the atmosphere and surface. The third Venus gravity assist will set up the spacecraft to release the probe for entry, descent, science, and touchdown plus follow on transmission to Earth. The first flyby of Venus will be 6.5 months after launch, and it will take 2 years to get the probe into position for entry into the atmosphere over Alpha Regio under ideal lighting at high noon with the goal of measuring the landscape of Venus at scales ranging from 3 to 8 feet, 100 meters down to finer than 1 meter. Such scales enable lander style geologic studies in the mountains of Venus without requiring landing. Once the CRIS system is about 2 days away from Venus, the probe flight system will be released along with the titanium 3 full 1 meter diameter probe safely encased inside. The probe will begin to interact with the Venus upper atmosphere at about 75 miles, 120 kilometers above the surface. The science probe will commence science observations after jettisoning its heat shield around 42 miles, 67 kilometers above the surface. With the heat shield jettisoned, the probe's inlets will ingest atmospheric gas samples for detailed chemistry measurements of the sort that have been made on Mars with the Curiosity rover. During its hour-long descent to the surface, the probe will also acquire hundreds of images as soon as it emerges under the clouds at around 100,000 feet, 30,500 meters above the local surface. The probe will touch down in the Alpha Regio mountains, but is not required to operate once it lands, as all of the required science data will be taken before reaching the surface, said Stephanie Getty, Deputy Principal Investigator from Goddard. If we survive the touchdown at down about 25 miles per hour, 12 meters per second, we could have up to 17 to 18 minutes of operations on the surface under ideal conditions. Da Vinci is tentatively scheduled to launch June 2029 and enter the Venusian atmosphere in June 30, 2031. No previous mission within the Venus atmosphere has measured the chemistry or environments at the detail that Da Vinci's probe can do, said Garvin. Furthermore, no previous Venus mission has descended over the Tesserae highlands of Venus and none have conducted descent imaging of the Venus surface. Da Vinci will build on what Huygens probe did at Titan and improve on what previous in C2 Venus missions have done. But with 21st century capabilities and sensors. NASA Goddard is the principal investigator institution for Da Vinci and will perform project management for the mission, provide science instruments as well as project systems engineering to develop the probe flight system. Goddard also leads the project science support team with an external science team from across the US Discovery Program. Class missions like Da Vinci complement NASA's larger flagship planetary science explorations with the goal of achieving outstanding results by launching more smaller missions using fewer resources and shorter development times. They are managed for NASA's Planetary Science Division by the Planetary Missions Program Office at Marshall Space Flight Center in Huntsville, Alabama. Major partners for Da Vinci are Lockheed Martin, Denver, Colorado, the Johns Hopkins University Applied Physics Laboratory in Lauderdale, Maryland, NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory, Pasadena, California, Main Space Science Systems, San Diego, California, NASA's Langley Research Center, Hampton, Virginia, NASA's Ames Research Center at Moffett Federal Airfield in California's Silicon Valley, and Kinetic Tempo, Arizona, as well as the University of Michigan in Ann Arbor. For more information on NASA's Da Vinci mission, visit https sscd.gsfc.nasa.gov. Da Vinci. There are reported celestial planets: Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars. Mercury is the first planet among the four. Then Venus, of who is this article E? Mercury is the first planet among the four. Then Venus, of who is this article E? There are reported celestial planets: Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars. Mercury is the first planet among the four. Then Venus, of who is this article E? Mercury is the first planet among the four. Then Venus, of who is this article E? This Venus is between Mercury and Earth, a completely different race. Mercury and Earth rotate from west to east. Venus has a reverse journey. Mercury and Earth rotate from west to east. Venus has a reverse journey. This Venus is between Mercury and Earth, a completely different race. Mercury and Earth rotate from west to east. Venus has a reverse journey. Mercury and Earth rotate from west to east. Venus has a reverse journey. There are reported celestial planets: Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars. Mercury is the first planet among the four. Then Venus, of who is this article E? Mercury is the first planet among the four. Then Venus, of who is this article E? There are reported celestial planets: Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars. Mercury is the first planet among the four. Then Venus, of who is this article E? Mercury is the first planet among the four. Then Venus, of who is this article E? Mercury also has a close neighbor, Earth's near neighborhood. The opposite rotation of Venus. Mercury takes Earth's senses away. The opposite rotation of Venus. Mercury takes the Earth's senses away. Mercury also has a close neighbor, Earth's near neighborhood. The opposite rotation of Venus. Mercury takes Earth's senses away. The opposite rotation of Venus. Mercury takes Earth's senses away. There are reported celestial planets: Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars. Mercury is the first planet among the four. Then Venus, of who is this article E? Mercury is the first planet among the four. Then Venus, of who is this article E? There are reported celestial planets: Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars. Mercury is the first planet among the four. Then Venus, of who is this article E? Mercury is the first planet among the four. Then Venus, of who is this article E? If there are 8 planets in the entire solar system and the Earth is bigger than Mercury and Mars, then who is bigger among Venus and Earth? Is slightly larger than Venus. Earth is slightly larger than Venus. Earth has a diameter of 7,926 miles, 12,756 kilometers. Venus has a diameter of 7,520.8 miles, 12,103.6 kilometers. Earth is also about 20% more massive than Venus. Earth's mass is about 6 into 10 is to 24 kg, while Venus' mass is about 5 into 10 is to 24 kg. Earth and Venus are both terrestrial planets in the Sun's habitable zone. They are believed to have been very similar early in their existence, but evolved in different directions. Venus is extremely hot and dry, making it unlikely that life as we know it could have developed there. Planet sizes and locations in our solar system. NASA Science.government, https science.nasa.government. solar system, planet sization 29 March 2024. Earth. Earth is the fifth largest planet in the solar system. It has an equatorial diameter of about 7,926 miles, 12,756 kilometers. Earth is the third planet from the Sun, orbiting at an average distance of 93 million miles, 149.7 million kilometers. Venus. Venus is the sixth largest planet in the solar system. Venus is about the same wide as the Earth and has an equatorial diameter of about 7,521 miles, 12,104 kilometers. For this reason, Venus is sometimes known as Earth's twin. Venus is the second planet from the Sun, orbiting at an average distance of 67.2 million miles, 108 million kilometer. Venus is about 26 million miles, 42 million kilometers closer to the Sun than Earth. Earth is only a little bigger than Venus. Therefore, Earth is the fifth largest planet in the entire solar system and Venus is the sixth largest planet. Friends, I have written a lot about Venus. Is this article of mine a lesson for tomorrow? You decide whether my article will be needed tomorrow or not. Till then, let me prepare about Mars. Greetings, sir. Asura Gurudeva Shukracharya.